obviously Jasprit Bumrah,
Yeah.
in the attack, Hardik Pandya, chipping in wickets, Kuldeep Yadav has been superb in these West Indian wickets.
Yeah.
And so, how impressive are you about this bowling unit?
Very excited. I'm very happy to see the way we've gone about throughout the game, from the US leg till now. I think it's really important that every individual performs, and I think that's what we got to see over the period through all these games. Every individual got an opportunity. Every individual has done something or the other during the game. So it's good to see. Going ahead, I think it's really important that everyone contributes. So yeah, we're pretty happy and the way we've gone about all the games so far, including this one.
In a similar vein, and more so on the bowling side, would you subscribe to the idea that whoever has the best squad at this tournament at 15 is going to eventually win it?
Sorry, come again?
Would you agree that, particularly more with the bowling,
Yeah.
that the team simply with the best squad at 15 will end up eventually winning the tournament?
I think I would say 15. I think you've got to go in every team when you build a side is always upon his strength. The team generally builds a side on his strength, depending on what kind of surface you're going to play. Not every time you get an opportunity to build a great team. That's different nation-wise and completely different. Teams will be different. But yeah, if you have an option, if you have the best option in terms of covering all your bases, including spins, actually out here see the wickets get slower a little bit. Afternoon games especially have got a little slower. So having quality spinners does help. So it's also quite helpful for us as well that these spinners, both of them bat as well. So it gets a lot of balance to the team.
And on that point, 𝐒𝐔𝐏𝐄𝐑 is someone that you've been able to bring in a little bit later into the tournament. He's coming relatively fresh. What have you made his start so far?
He's always been a class bowler. He's always done well for us. Always won games for us initially as well. But unfortunately, because of the kind of wickets that we played in the US, he couldn't get an opportunity, couldn't get a run. But good to see that he's come out last two games, he's done well. This was fabulous. I think he really bowled well, used the conditions very well. And good to see that he's got in the run.
Paras, we have the bowling has been doing exceptionally well, but is there a chance in one of the knockout games all four spinners could play?
It all depends on what kind of surface. I hope the surface won't be that spinner friendly. I think going at three spinners. I think just add the balance, but I'm not very sure all the other venues that in case I'm saying it doesn't look like the surface is going to be that dry and going to turn so much. But yeah, if the surface is like that, there's a lot of wear and tear in the wicket. Yeah, for a spinner, if you think that's the best option, you want to go and enter the game, you might as well go with it.
Just looking ahead to the game against Australia.
Yeah.
Their batting in particular has really been difficult to contain for a lot of sides. So what kind of ways are you looking at trying to contain them? I guess especially looking at the two at the top of the order and Warner and Head.
See, we played them initially earlier. Also, a lot of these guys have played against them. Yeah, a lot of guys have played in the IPL. So, in terms of knowing of the game, what the approach is not going to change. Has been the similar in the past games that we played. I don't think it's going to change. I think it's all what we can do is really focus on implementation of our plans, and the bottom line is execution. I think if you're as close to your execution, you want to get in every game. So it's not about what the other opponent's going to do. Yeah, we know what kind of approach they're going to come with. That's the way they played in the past as well. But I think the focus purely should be on that's what we will focus on in execution. And if we as close to our plans, I'm pretty sure that we're going to cross the other side. Yeah.
How much of the planning that you're doing when you talk about those plans?
Yeah.
At the moment with these grounds, how much is focused on the opponent themselves and how much is devoted to things like the crosswinds with the left and right hand combinations over, around the wicket, all that sort of
Yeah, everything, as you said, you just rightly said, it's also important to consider the conditions. Obviously, breeze and the wind has been a factor in the last two games. So obviously you plan certain ends, what end a particular bowler, you got to look at your best matchup and say which is the best end for the particular bowler. But it's not going to be possible every time. You still sometimes have to come and bowl from the difficult end. which Arsh did in the last game. Barbados was a different when he bowled a difficult end. You got to be able to do that. It's not going to be possible each and every time, but you need to consider these the surface, the conditions in while implementing your plans, and also maybe look in the best matchups that you have in terms of left right combination. Who would be your best option in the middle phase? Pretty much you know what's going to be a power play option, but also in the middle phase, what are the best bowling options? Sometimes you're going to go with a left arm spinner, sometimes you just want to stick with the seamer. That's what you feel, and it's also very important as from the captain's perspective. It's all about the gut feeling. You've got to be able to do that. You've got to be able to, what is your gut feel? And Rohit has been brilliant so far.
Is that something like, because obviously when you look from upper half and watching down, it seems really obvious, like which of them no, don't put it there, because you can just see everything. Have you spoken to the guys, like, does it sometimes seem harder for them actually out in the middle? Because the slightest misstep gets punished very severely.
Yeah, right. You're not going to be able to execute each and every delivery, and that's going to be tough. I think even though that that the crosswind, that certain areas you can go in certain zones are hot zones out here, but generally sometimes it's all about, sometimes doesn't swing so much. Sometimes a particular ball does swing more than what you expect. So it's just finding the middle ground. What you feel is what area you'll be able to hit, and generally kind of protect one side. And I think that's going to happen. I think each and every delivery as a bowler you will not be able to execute. But as I said, if you can get as close to what we want in terms of 80-85% of the balls that you bowled are in the right areas, and I think that should be sufficient.
Paras, talking about Shivam Dubey's role, obviously he's been played as an all-rounder, and we know Hardik has been performing both with the bat and ball.
Yeah.
But Shivam has got very few opportunities as far as bowling is concerned. So going into the Australia match, how do you see Shivam Dubey's role? And one more thing, obviously yesterday we saw in the optional practice session both Virat and Rohit practice for a long time. They were seen practicing long hits towards the end of the practice session.
Yeah.
And that's the over well. Now that they have got a start, they have shown some positive intent in today's game.
See, first of all, we always knew that Shivam adds bowling. Maybe 1 or 2 overs. It depends on the situation, where and how we can use it. But as long as right now, currently with 3 seamers doing the job, with 3 spinners, it's difficult to get him over or so. But one thing that we're definitely doing is working in the nets, consistently working on the bowling. The conversations is going to still have those kind of conversations, knowing that at maybe in a game going ahead, one of the games he will play a critical role. Maybe only 6 balls, maybe only an over, but that will be very important over for us. So preparation is going on. I think he's the right frame of mind. He's working on his bowling, so good to see that. But if the situation does arise, I'm sure he's prepared for it.
And talking about Virat and Rohit's form, the way they batted together.
I think Virat has been in the last whistle from the IPL itself, and Rohit from the World Cup. I think both of them in great form. I think when every game, I think there's a certain plan that you go in with. Sometimes some individual has to take an chance, the other has to play a defending role. So I think that's going to happen out here. That's what is happening. Rohit is playing his natural game, but it's good to see that in this game especially, the intent that Virat has shown. I think that's good to see that. Good to see that intent. And I think performance. You'll have games like this. You get 40 or 50 odd run. But I think the way he went about with the intent, that was good to see. That was good heartening. And I think that's the intent that we want as a batting unit as well. Something that we've been emphasizing on throughout the previous World Cup, this World Cup as well. And I think we show the intent. And it's good to see that intent on the ground today. Yeah, thank you.